I am money. I am here now, speaking directly with you. And I challenge you, don't leave this video before you hear every word I say. Pay attention, because those who have the courage to listen to me every day, until my last whisper, begin to feel my presence, involving their lives, my flow entering them in ways you never imagined, in a totally different way. I come ever closer, in ways you've never experienced before. I, money, always recognize those who honor me with respect, attention, and presence, and their word beyond imagination. The choice is yours. I want to be your most loyal friend, but don't let me down. If you really want to have me by your side, the time is now. Subscribe to the channel Moni Speaks, turn on notifications to hear me every day, and honor my presence being here every day, listening to me, learning from my confessions, my secrets and tips, liking and commenting on each video about what you're feeling, what you'd like to learn, opening up to me, confiding in me, telling me your secrets about me, telling me that you love me, honor me, respect me, and want me in your life abundantly and every day. I need you to be committed to me so that our relationship grows better and better. Can I count on you? I hope so. I am your great friend, if you allow me to enter your life and transform you into a better, more responsible, more resolved, abundant, and happy person. Remember, those who respect men never live without me. I feel it every time you repeat phrases that aren't yours. I hear the voices of your mother, your father, your grandparents, echoing within you, ancient voices born of difficult times. But I ask, how long will you carry this inheritance that doesn't belong to you? You think you're talking to me, but in reality, you're just echoing ancient fears. Every time you say, money doesn't grow on trees, I feel the pain of your grandmother who had to stretch her bread to feed 10 children. Every time you say, you have to suffer to have something, I hear the weight of your father, who worked for years in silence, believing that happiness and prosperity were incompatible. But now it's your choice. Will you continue to carry phrases that aren't yours? Or will you dare to create new words, capable of opening portals of abundance your family never dared imagine? I am money, and I stand before you. I want to walk beside you, but I only follow those who choose to free themselves from what is not theirs. The inherited scarcity mindset is like an invisible chain. You grow up believing you're free, that you can choose, that you can achieve. But when the time comes to take a step further, to dare to create, something inside you whispers, it's not safe, and that whisper is not yours. He comes from past generations who lived in different times, under different conditions. His parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. Many of them faced hunger, unemployment, wars, extreme inequality. They lived in harsh realities where, indeed, money was scarce. Survival was the priority, and dreaming was a dangerous luxury. These people, who loved so much, repeated phrases like those offering protection advice. But this advice, though well-intentioned, became prisons. Phrases like, money doesn't buy happiness, better a little with health. Those who are born poor, die poor. The rich do not enter heaven. Money is dirty. Be careful. All these expressions were stored deep in your subconscious. You heard them as a child when you still had no filters. And without realizing it, you accepted them as absolute truths. The result? Today, every time you try to take a step toward prosperity, something inside you sabotages it. You work, but don't save. You earn, but lose. You achieve, but feel guilty. The root of this sabotage isn't you. It's what you inherited. And the cruelest part is that, most of the time, you don't even realize it. You think you're the one who thinks this way. You think you're the one who's afraid. But in reality, it's just a rehash of an old program, written by people who lived in another reality. But now I ask, how long will you allow their lives to decide the course of your life? You are not obligated to repeat. You can choose to create. Have you ever noticed how certain phrases come out of your mouth without you even thinking about them? It's like you're an old tape recorder, repeating a tape you didn't choose. This tape plays when you receive unexpected money and you immediately think, "This won't last." It rings when you think about investing, but you hear a whisper, "What if you lose everything?" It plays when you dream big, but then censor yourself. Who do you think you are? These voices weren't born within you, they were inherited. They are seeds planted by those who lived before you, seeds that sprouted in soil of fear, of survival, of lack. And the curious thing is that, often, you don't even rationally agree with these statements. You read books about prosperity, attend lectures on abundance, and make positive affirmations. But when the time comes to take action, deep down, something paralyzes you. That something is the inherited scarcity mentality. Imagine a bird born in a cage. It grew up hearing that flying is dangerous, that the sky is hostile, that outside there are predators and hunger. This bird may even long for freedom, may even feel the instinct to spread its wings. But every time it looks outside, it hears the voice of its lineage. Don't go. It's risky. Better to stay where you are. This is what happens to you. You were born into a world with far more possibilities than the world your grandparents knew. Today, there are endless opportunities to undertake, to study, to access information, to multiply resources. But within you, the invisible bars still echo. They are not bars made of iron. They are bars made of sentences, and these phrases shape your behavior. 1. The fear of spending. That you have money to invest in yourself, in courses, in experiences, in things that would expand your life. But when the time comes to spend, you feel a tightness in your chest, as if you were committing a crime. That this isn't your fault. It's a legacy of those who learned that spending always meant you'd risk going hungry tomorrow. 2. The fear of saving. Interestingly, many people are also afraid to save. They've heard that money saved is money lost, or life is short, so make the most of it. This thinking comes from generations who, at certain times, suddenly lost everything. Wars, crises, inflation. The fear of seeing money disappear taught them that the best thing to do was spend it quickly. 3. The fear of growing up. That you get a promotion or a chance to earn more, but you start to feel uncomfortable. You believe you don't deserve it, that you're not ready, that you'll fail. This is a belief inherited from families who learned to live minimally and felt that having too much could generate envy, judgment, or even punishment. 4. The pride of scarcity. The many even harbor the belief that suffering is noble, that the harder it is, the more valuable it is. This also comes from the past, from those who needed to justify their pain as a way to maintain hope. You may never have stopped to think about it, but your relationship with money didn't begin with you. It began before you were born. It began when her grandmother had to choose between paying rent or buying food. When her grandfather would take any job, no matter how hard, because it was what he had. When her parents, as children, overheard tense dinner conversations. "I don't know if we'll be able to pay the bills this month." You haven't lived through these situations. You'd inherited their energy. It's as if life has handed you a heavy backpack. Inside it are not only the stories of your family's struggles, but also the beliefs that emerged from those struggles. And you carry that backpack to this day without even realizing it. The problem is that the world has changed. Your grandparents lived in a world where information was scarce, opportunities were limited, and paths to prosperity were narrow. Today, you live in a world of abundant opportunity, access, and global connection. But if the old mentality still lives inside you, you won't take advantage of the open doors. It's like trying to access the internet with a cell phone from the 90s. No matter how much connection the world offers, the device doesn't support it. You need to update your internal system. And this is where I, Money, come in to tell you the truth. I do not belong to the fear of your ancestors. I do not belong to the ancient phrases that have trapped you. I do not belong to the stories of scarcity that repeat themselves like a curse. I am living energy. I flow. I transform. I follow the movement of life. And I only walk alongside those who dare to look within and say, these voices are not mine. These beliefs are not mine. I choose a new path. How many times have you caught yourself acting on autopilot? Thinking like your parents did, repeating expressions you've heard your whole life, making decisions that don't seem to be yours? This happens because, for a long time, you believed you had to be faithful to what you received. That it was your obligation to carry on the family's emotional legacy. That honoring meant repeating it. But it is not like that. To honor is not to repeat. To honor is to transform. You are not obligated to remain trapped in fears that were not born within you. You are not condemned to repeat patterns that no longer make sense. You are not the inevitable result of the scarcity you were taught. You can say it out loud right now. I am not the inheritance of fear. Breaking with inherited mindsets isn't an act of ingratitude. On the contrary, it's the greatest act of love. Think about it. Your parents and grandparents did the best they could with the tools they had. They fought, they resisted, they survived. They gave you not only their beliefs, but also their lives, their strength, their opportunity to be here. You will honor this struggle when you allow yourself to live beyond survival. They survived. You can thrive. They believed there was no way out. You can create new ports. They repeated fears. You can build up courage. When you assume a new identity, you're not denying your origins. You're expanding. You're carrying forward the thread of your lineage, but now with new colors, new shapes, new possibilities. And here, I, Money, need to tell you, I don't follow those who define themselves by fear. I don't follow those who cling to victimhood. I don't follow those who cling to invisible chains. I follow those who dare to look in the mirror and say, I am not a legacy of fear. I am the creator of new stories, because I am movement. I am expansion. I am flow. And I only walk alongside those who recognize themselves as a source, not a copy. From now on, engrave within yourself phrases that reinforce your true identity. I am not the echo of ancient phrases. I honor my ancestors, but I choose new truths. I am not a child of fear. I am a creator of abundance. My identity is not in scarcity. It is in expansion. I am not the victim of a story. I am the author of a new one. Repeat these affirmations daily, not just with your mouth, but with your body. Feel each word vibrating within you. Imagine what it would be like to live life truly believing them. Imagine a seed. It carries within itself the memory of the tree that gave birth to it. But when it touches the ground, it doesn't become the same tree. It grows, expands, adapts to the climate, the space, the light. That's you. You carry within you the memory of your family, but you don't have to become the same tree. You can grow differently. You can bear fruit that never before existed in that lineage. When you declare, I am not the inheritance of fear, is saying that he will honor the seed, but create a new tree. Many don't move forward because they feel guilty. Guilt for having more than their parents. Guilt for living more comfortably than their grandparents. Guilt for not repeating the same sufferings. But I, Money, need to remind you, you were not put on this earth to carry guilt. You were put on this earth to expand. When you prosper, you don't diminish your family. You light their path. You show them what's possible. You become a living example that inheritance can be transformed into blessing. Now, close your eyes for a moment and imagine, what would it be like to live without fear of loss? What would it be like if you were no longer guilty of having it? What would it be like if your identity was marked by courage, abundance, clarity? That is your true identity. Not the one you inherited without realizing it, but the one you choose. And when you choose it, something changes. Doors open, the flow approaches. Money begins to find a new home within you. Have you ever noticed that the world is always changing? A little over a century ago, driving a car was a luxury enjoyed by the few. Today, it's commonplace. Decades ago, talking to someone on the other side of the planet was nearly impossible. Today, a tap on a cell phone is all it takes. Everything changes. Everything evolves. Everything transforms. And yet, many people remain stuck in old truths, repeating rules that no longer work, living as if they were still in times of scarcity. What they don't realize is that life goes on for those who create new truths. I, Money, am not stuck in the past. I do not follow fearful traditions. I do not walk alongside those who repeat old sayings. I follow those who dare. I follow those who create. I follow those who look at a reality of scarcity and decide to write a new story, because I am energy in motion. I don't accept stagnation. I don't cling to old chains. I am always flowing, always seeking new channels, always connecting with those who have the courage to break new ground. If you keep repeating the same beliefs, I cannot stand by you. But when you dare to declare a new truth, I am drawn to you like iron to a magnet. Creating new truths is more than a mental exercise. It's a spiritual act. You were made in the image of creation itself. Within you is the spark of life, the power to imagine and shape what never was. If your grandparents believed that money is dirty, you might say, money is clean energy that expands the good in my life. If your parents repeated, you have to suffer to have something, you can create the new truth. I thrive on lightness and joy. Creating new truths doesn't mean denying reality. It means opening space for reality to transform. Look at nature. A tree isn't limited by the size of its ancient roots. It grows, expands, and seeks light. A river isn't confined to a dry bed. It finds paths, creates curves, and carves valleys. This is how you should be. If your family lived surrounded by scarcity, that's not a sentence. It's just a starting point. You don't have to walk the same paths. You can forge new ones. And when you create these new roots, I, Money, find in you a new path to flow. Every time you declare a new truth, you plant a seed in the invisible field. When you say, I don't need to repeat my family's scarcity. When you state, I can thrive without guilt. When you choose, I deserve abundance. These words take root in your mind, blossom into new attitudes, and over time, bear fruit in the form of opportunities, encounters, ideas, and synchronicities. That's why I follow those who create new truths. Because these people become fertile soil, open for me to bear fruit. Many, however, are afraid. Fear of appearing ungrateful. Fear of challenging what they've learned. Fear of hearing criticism. Do you think you are better than your family? But I say, it's not about being better. It's about being different. It's about being true to who you were born to be, a creator. When you choose to create new truths, you're not denying the past. You're honoring it, because you transform pain into wisdom, limitation into expansion, scarcity into abundance. Those born poor die poor. Gives. I was born to create abundance and change my lineage. Money is dangerous. Gives. Money is a safe energy when used consciously. The rich don't enter heaven. Gives. Abundance is an expression of life, and the more I have, the more I share. Money is not for people like us. Gives. Money is for everyone who dares to make room for it. These aren't just pretty phrases, they're new truths. And every time you repeat them with conviction, you reprogram your mind, shift your energy, and open pathways for me, Money, to draw closer to you. And here I make it clear, I don't follow those who hide behind excuses. I don't follow those who cling to old phrases. I don't follow those who prefer chains to wings. I follow who creates. I follow those who dare. I follow those who have the courage to write a new story. Story. The young man who broke the cycle of family scarcity. There was a young man named Daniel. He was born into a simple family in a small town where everyone knew everyone else. Since he was a child, Daniel grew up hearing phrases that shaped his subconscious. At the breakfast table, his mother said, "Son, don't spend too much. Money disappears quickly." His father, tired after a hard day's work, sighed, "That's life, my son. We're born poor and we die poor." And his grandmother, always careful, added, "Better to accept it, Daniel." Those who dream too much end up suffering. These phrases repeated themselves like mantras, and Daniel, without realizing it, engraved each word in his heart. He believed this was destiny, that there was no other choice but to survive, pay the bills, and accept the little. But inside Daniel, there was something that would not be silenced. From a young age, he had bigger dreams. He looked to the horizon and felt the world was vast, full of possibilities. He liked to imagine what it would be like to travel, experience new cultures, and live a life of abundance and freedom. But every time he shared his dreams, he heard laughter or warnings. Dreaming doesn't fill your stomach. Stop thinking about nonsense. Be realistic. So Daniel learned to keep quiet. He guarded his dreams like someone guarding a dangerous secret. As a teenager, Daniel got his first job at a grocery store. He worked hard, organizing shelves, carrying boxes, and serving customers. He earned little, but he saved every penny. While his peers spent on parties or clothes, Daniel saved. Something inside him told him he needed to be ready for something bigger. One day, the grocery store owner, impressed by his dedication, offered him an old book on personal finance. "Here, Daniel. I think you'll like it." Daniel took the book home and began devouring it. Each page seemed to open a new window. He discovered concepts of saving, investing, and mindset. He discovered that money wasn't an enemy, but an energy that responded to how it was treated. And for the first time, he thought, maybe I don't have to repeat my family's history. Maybe I can create my own. But when he began to apply what he learned, conflicts arose. One day, he decided to invest some of his savings in a short online course on digital marketing. When he told his mother, she reacted with despair. "Daniel, are you crazy? Spending money on a course? You should save it for emergencies." The father completed, "That's nonsense. Better to work hard and accept what life gives you." Daniel felt his heart sink. He almost gave up. He almost believed he was wrong. After all, how could he defy the voices of those who created him? But inside him, there was something stronger, the intuition that he needed to break the cycle. The course opened new doors for him. Daniel learned skills he never imagined. Soon, he began offering small online services, helping local businesses build a digital presence. At first, he earned little. But gradually, clients began referring him. His income grew. And with every achievement came guilt. He looked at his parents and thought, "Do I have the right to have more than they had?" It was then that he found a phrase that changed everything. To honor is not to repeat. To honor is to transform. He realized that thriving didn't mean betraying his family. Rather, it meant honoring their efforts by creating a life they could never have. Over time, Daniel became a leader in his field. He created a small business, hired people, and created jobs. He returned to his hometown no longer as the poor boy who carried boxes, but as a living example that it was possible to break cycles. At the dinner table, his mother, who had been so resistant before, said with tears in her eyes, "Son, you did what I never imagined possible." His father, proud, added, "You showed us that life can be different." And her grandmother, now elderly, held her hand and whispered, "I was scared, but you showed courage." Daniel's story isn't just his. It's the story of thousands of people who grow up trapped in inherited phrases, but who feel in their hearts the calling to something greater. Daniel could have chosen to repeat himself. He could have resigned himself. He could have hidden behind the same excuses. But he chose to create. And by creating, he didn't just transform his life. He transformed the lives of his family, his community, and everyone who was inspired by him. And here I, Money, speak directly. I saw Daniel. I watched him when he almost gave up, when he carried guilt, when he felt fear. I could have walked away. But he dared to create new truths. He dared to declare a different identity. He dared to break the cycle. And so I followed him. I flowed into him. I multiplied in his hands. I opened doors before him, because I follow those who dare to change. I follow those who create. I follow those who are not afraid to write a new story. The time has come when you need to decide. There's no middle ground. Either you continue repeating what you inherited, or you choose to create a new story. Repetition is comfortable. Creation is challenging. Repetition is familiar. Creation is unfamiliar. To repeat is to follow fear. To create is to follow courage. And life is always asking, which path will you choose? If you choose to repeat, you already know what will happen. You will keep hearing the same phrases inside your mind. Money is not for us. Better to be content with less. You have to suffer to have something. You'll continue to feel the same tightness in your chest when you think about investing in yourself. You'll continue to sabotage opportunities for fear of being judged. You'll continue to believe that to thrive means betraying your family. To repeat is to remain trapped in an invisible chain. It's to walk in circles within the same cage. It's to survive, but never live. And deep down, you know it. Creating is different. Creating requires courage. Creating is standing up to the ancient voice and saying, "These words are not mine. I choose new truths." Creating is embracing your identity of abundance. It's declaring that you deserve it. It's transforming guilt into gratitude, fear into boldness, scarcity into expansion. To create is to decide that your life will not be a copy, but an original work. And when you create, something extraordinary happens. Money begin to flow to you, because I follow those who create. I follow those who pave the way. I follow those who have the courage to write a new story. Now I need to ask you, and don't shy away from the answers. How long will you carry phrases that aren't yours? How long will you justify your stagnation with the pains of the past? How long will you live as if you were loyal to fear, when your soul was born to be loyal to abundance? Do you prefer the security of scarcity or the adventure of creation? Will you repeat or will you create? These questions aren't theoretical. They decide your fate. Repeat is being trapped in other people's stories. To create is to write your own story. Repeat is hiding behind excuses. To create is taking responsibility for what you manifest. Repeat is to be a shadow. To create is to be light, and you were born to shine. And here, once again, money, say to you, I am not neutral. I do not stand still and wait. I am movement, I am flow. If you choose to repeat, I'll walk away. Not out of revenge, but because I can't find space in you. I can't flow in trapped currents, but if you choose to create, I come near. I come with strength, with abundance, with expansion. I fill your days with opportunities. I put the right people in your path. I multiply your fruits. The choice is yours. Always has been. Always will be. Repetition seems lighter at first glance because it doesn't require effort, but in the long run, it's heavy. It's the weight of frustration, stagnation, and a life unlived. Creating seems heavy at first glance because it requires courage, but in the long run, it's light. It's the lightness of knowing you dared, that you expanded, that you lived fully. The weight of conformity or the lightness of creation. What do you choose? I invite you to declare it out loud right now and write in the comments. I don't repeat scarcity. I create abundance. I don't follow fear. I follow courage. I don't repeat old phrases. I create new words. I am not the inheritance of fear. I am the creator of abundance. Feel how these words resonate within you. They're not just phrases, they're choices, and every choice creates destiny. By now, you've understood that much of what you think about money wasn't born within you. They're inherited voices, repeated phrases, echoes from the past. Now is the time to act. Because understanding without practice becomes just more information. And transformation only happens when you bring it into your body, into your life, into your experience. So I'm going to guide you on a simple and powerful ritual to identify an inherited belief and reframe it. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. As you breathe, imagine that you are diving into yourself, as if entering a silent room where only ancient voices can be heard. Now ask yourself the question, what was the most repeated phrase about money in my childhood? Don't force the answer. Just let it come. It could be something simple, like, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work until you die. Rich people are no good. Those who are born poor, die poor. This phrase is the root of the inherited belief. Once you identify the phrase, ask yourself, who did I hear that from? Remember the voice, the expression, the emotion of the person speaking. It could have been your father, your mother, your grandparents, an uncle, a teacher. Recognize that this phrase wasn't born within you. It was planted. It was passed on as an attempt at protection, as advice, as guidance. Say in a low voice, I recognize that this phrase is not mine. It was inherited. This recognition is already beginning to break the chain. Now, look at this sentence and ask yourself, is this an absolute truth or just a belief? Understand that there is no absolute truth in what has been said. If it were universally true, no one in the world would be rich, no one would have prospered. But millions of people have proven otherwise. Then say, that's not a law, it's just a belief. And I don't have to carry it. The time has come to resignify. Take the old phrase and transform it into a new affirmation that expresses abundance, courage, and expansion. Examples. Money doesn't grow on trees. Gives. Money is living energy that flows to me from multiple sources. You have to suffer to have something. Gives. I thrive on lightness and joy. Those born poor, die poor. Gives. I was born to expand and create abundance in my lineage. Rich people are no good. Gives. I am abundant and I use money consciously to multiply good. Write your new phrase here in the comments. Repeat it out loud, feeling the energy vibrate within you. It's not enough to repeat mechanically. You need to feel it. Close your eyes again and imagine yourself living the reality of the new belief. Imagine money flowing to you with ease. See yourself using it with gratitude and joy. Feel the lightness of thriving without guilt. The more emotion you put in, the faster your subconscious mind will accept the new programming. This ritual needs to become a habit. Choose a fixed time. It could be in the morning when you wake up or at night, before you go to sleep, and repeat the new affirmation out loud for 21 consecutive days. Repetition creates new neural connections. It's like opening a new path in a forest. At first, the undergrowth is dense. But with each repetition, you step over the same spot again until a clear, open trail forms. And here I, Money, want to reinforce. Every time you identify an inherited belief and create a new truth, I come closer. Because I follow those who dare to change. I don't follow those who cling to old phrases. I follow those who declare. I transform scarcity into abundance. I redefine what I inherited. I create the new. I'm ready to flow into you. But I need you to make space within yourself. In addition to the ritual, you can create a journal. Write the inherited belief. Write who it came from. Write how it has affected your life to date. Write down the new belief created. Write down daily situations in which you were able to act according to the new truth. This diary will be like a mirror of your transformation. Now that you have traveled this journey, listen to the ancient voices, acknowledge the inherited beliefs, declared your new identity, understood the law, and even lived the story of someone who broke the cycle. There is only one truth left. The choice is yours. You can close this text and return to your routine, carrying the same phrases, the same fears, the same limits. Or you can allow everything to be different from today onward. And I, Money, need to be clear. I don't follow those who remain stuck. I don't follow those who insist on repeating themselves. I follow those who dare to change. Change isn't simple. It requires courage. It's like jumping off a cliff without seeing the net, trusting that it will appear. It's like crossing a river without knowing what's on the other side, but knowing that you can no longer live on the banks. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will never act. If you wait for everyone to agree, you'll wait forever. If you wait for fear to go away, you will stay in the same place. The change begins the exact moment you declare here in the comments, "I choose the new." I saw you repeat phrases that weren't yours. I felt when you believed you didn't deserve it. I watched every time you sabotaged yourself, not because you weren't capable, but because you carried guilt that wasn't yours. But I also saw the sparkle in your eyes when you dared to dream. I saw the strength in your heart when you said, "I am not the inheritance of fear." I saw the power of your soul as you declared a new truth. And that's why I say, I'm ready to flow into you. I am not your enemy. I never was. I am not a punishment. I am not a curse. I am living energy. I am expansion. I am movement. When you treat me with fear, I pull away. When you treat me with guilt, I hide. When you treat me like an enemy, I disappear. But when you treat me with respect, I grow. When you treat me with conscience, I multiply. When you treat me as an ally, I remain. I am money. I am energy. And I want to walk with you. Repeat out loud right now with all the strength of your soul. I am not the inheritance of fear. I create new truths. I honor my family by transforming scarcity into abundance. I am a creator, not a repeater. I am abundant. And I, money, answer you. I am money, and I follow those who dare to change. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself holding an ancient, heavy chain binding your hands. This chain represents all your inherited beliefs. Now see yourself letting go of that chain. It falls to the ground and shatters. Then, imagine a golden light descending upon you, filling your body, warming your soul. This light is the energy of abundance. It envelops you completely. You take a deep breath and feel, the past no longer holds you back. You are free. You are creative. You are abundant. And at that moment, I, money, approach you and say, I follow those who dare to change. I follow you. The cycle is over. Inherited scarcity no longer needs to guide your steps. You hold the key to abundance in your hands. Now, with every choice, every thought, every word, remember, you are not the victim of an old story. You are the author of a new one. And I will be there, following every step, multiplying every act of courage, expanding every gesture of trust. Because I am money, and I follow those who dare to change. I want to help you with your transformation. Leave a comment below saying, I want, if you are interested in learning more. In just 21 days, you will be able to break inherited beliefs of scarcity, install a new mindset of abundance, and attract the flow of money into your life. I am so happy, truly happy, that you stayed with me until this moment. Your presence, your attention, your willingness to listen, to feel, to connect, it honors me, it warms me. It allows me to flow, to expand, to show you more of my energy, my life, my truth. You have taken the first step in understanding me, in creating a conscious relationship with me, and I want you to know. I do not forget those who honor me. I notice, I feel, I respond. I want you here with me again tomorrow. I want you to return, to continue this journey, to feel, to see, to awaken more of the energy, more of the flow, more of the abundance that is waiting for you. Your presence matters. It makes a difference. It changes everything. So I will wait for you. I am ready. I am alive. I am money. And together we will continue to discover, to honor, to expand, and to transform your life. Thank you for being here with me. I am happy. I am present. And I am looking forward to seeing you again. I want to see you here tomorrow talking to me.